Hello and welcome to the Lima Wolf podcast. I am your host, Raceland, and I'm joined by my co-host, Nate. What is going on, buddy?
Not much.
How you been? We haven't done a podcast in a little bit. How you been? What you been up to?
Mainly playing Helldivers 2.
Oh, that old game.
That old game that came out recently.
That game, that's great. Well, today, Nate, I have something to tell you.
What's that?
I can show you the world. All of its shining, shimmering, and splendidness.
I'd rather not.
Oh, I'm going to get into...
I can just stay home.
No. Because today, we are going to be talking about the top 10 animated Disney movies. You're a big fan of Disney, right?
Yes.
Would you say that you grew up on Disney as a kid?
Yes.
Well, I would say I also grew up on Disney. Now, for this list, I didn't discuss this with you. I forgot to ask you. We are including, like, Pixar and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Disney, Pixar.
Okay, I was making sure, because my list does have Pixar in it, and I was like, we should have discussed this before the podcast.
As long as it is a Disney-Pixar collaboration and not just Pixar.
Okay. I don't know when did Disney acquire Pixar?
I don't even think it's like them. I think they just do collaborations.
Oh, I don't know. Well, in the comments, if you don't like one of my suggestions and it's technically quote-unquote not a Disney movie, you can comment how stupid I am, alright?
I mean, I could be wrong, too.
That's true. That's normally what happens, is Nate's wrong.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Alright, so we're going to just go ahead and jump into this, but before we start, are you cool if I talk about some honorable mentions that did not make my top 10?
Sure, I got like 2.
You got 2? Alright, let's start with your honorable mentions first.
Alright, so my first honorable mention is Elemental.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
I did really like it. Sadly, it just didn't make the top 10 list. But
I know my son, who's 8 years old, he loves that movie.
It's a fun movie, and I think it does a very good job of teaching a very good lesson, which a lot of like modern Disney movies teach more lessons about society rather than the self. Which
True.
Older Disney movies were more teaching lessons about the self rather than the society.
I don't know if this is on your list. It's not on mine either, but I know the movie Soul. Do you know what that is? Yeah. I know that is supposed to be like one of those types of movies that are like cut real hard and make you feel real, like lots of feelings and stuff like that, and teach you moments and stuff.
Yeah, no, well, that's a lot of Disney movies. A lot of Disney movies just try to teach you something.
Try to make you cry.
Oh yeah, they do that. Soul, I think, made me cry.
I haven't seen it.
Elemental, however, I don't think I think it may have made me cry once, but it was more of a happy cry, not really a sad cry.
I'm a man, I don't cry, Nate.
Oh yeah, no, I cry all the time. Constantly. Just matter of fact, there's a specific character in Elemental that every time he cried, I'm like, damn, I feel you, bro. Because he's a water elemental, and apparently they're very sensitive, and they just cry a lot.
Well, it sounds like a bunch of babies. You don't talk about manly stuff, yeah.
It cracked me up. But yeah, so Elemental is an honorable mention.
Okay.
Because I did really like it. It just didn't quite make the 10 list.
Okay.
And then the second one was a movie that I really liked the premise of. And the movie itself is pretty good, but I feel like it could have been better.
Okay.
Onward.
Oh, yeah, that was another good one.
I really love the setting of like a modern day fantasy world.
I thought it was a good movie.
And so did I. I thought it was a good movie. I just didn't think it was a great movie.
The story was kind of lacking.
For me, it was more pacing.
Okay, I can see that.
There was a lot of parts where I'm just like kind of waiting for the next scene to happen. The story itself was very emotional. It did get a tear out of me, especially when it came out. something I was kind of sad about it, the whole them trying to see their father kind of thing.
Nate, you gonna be okay?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll be fine. But again, the premise of it is what really sparked my interest. Because I love modern fantasy stuff.
Makes sense.
So those are my 2 honorable mentions.
Okay. So I have 4 honorable mentions. I'm gonna fly them through real quick, but I'm assuming they're gonna be on your list, so we're probably gonna talk about them anyways.
Yeah.
My number 4 honorable mention is the movie in 1997, Hercules. Is that on your list?
That is on my list.
Let's get into Hercules then, because I figured it would be. You could take the reins on this because this is your pick. What number does this one land at?
This is number 6.
Woo! All right, why is Hercules at number 6 for you?
Hercules at number 6 is I really like. So first off the bat, all of these are pretty much very, very close together. So it's not like Hercules was just so much better than 7 and down. It was just that much better, just a little bit, like an inch better.
I'm in the same boat, except for my number 1 and my number 2 are miles ahead of everything else, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because they're just peak animated movies.
Yeah, to me, I think they're all very, very close, and it was a really tough decision on this one because for like my top one, I actually very much considered changing my number 1 pick that I've had since I was a kid.
Really?
Because I actually looked at this list objectively and was like, okay, so what makes this my favorite? Like, what are the elements that I'm looking for to make a good movie, to make this a good movie?
Okay.
So this list almost changed it, but then I was like, nah, fuck that.
So Hercules.
Hercules, I've always been a big fan of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
That is, I even went, when I was in college, I studied it. And Hercules was just a fun movie when I was a kid. I loved the idea of a kid or a demigod trying to prove himself and be the hero that he sees himself as and all that. The comedy is like just hilarious to me. The love interest, Megara.
Meg. My friends call me Meg.
Yeah, she was probably like the first sassy female lead that I'm like, has this awakened something in me? Okay.
Does my inner emo come out?
Yeah, well, not even emo, just my like.
Do I want a sassy girl to tell me what to do?
She doesn't need a guy, but I need her. So yeah, like, man, it was such a good movie. Like the character designs, I love the character designs for a lot of them.
Nate, if you want a girl like Meg, you better have the body type like Hercules, all right?
Yeah, right. My only issue with it is not even it's a non-issue. It's more of a, I'm kind of happy they did it.
What's Zeus. That? Zeus?
Yeah.
Making him a clumsy old happy-go-lucky guy?
Making him a dad who wanted to be a dad who...
That sounds like Greek mythology. I don't know what you're talking about, Nate.
Faithful to his wife.
Yeah, that sounds like Zeus to me.
Yeah, I'm like, man, they made Zeus so much better.
Listeners, you should totally go look up what the Greek mythology of Zeus actually is and see how great of a person he is.
In honesty, almost all the gods are just horrible, horrible beings. And they did such a good job of making them all
not
like
terrible.
You want to meet them. Even Hades, like in the show, they made him a massive villain, but man, he was such a good villain too. Like,
so that was gonna bring me to my question: what is your favorite character from that movie?
Oh, that's
you get one. You get one favorite character.
Like, my instinct is always go with the main character.
That's fine. Hey, some people love the main characters.
But with this particular movie, I don't know if it's Hercules that is my favorite character. I think it might be Phil.
That's a great pick, dude.
Because Phil is...
He's funny.
I think...
I got 3 words for you!
Like, here's the thing with me. usually it is for the main character to be my favorite pick. But also, I really tend towards redemption stories. And
Does
Phil is
Phil
the redemption story of this one.
Oh, yeah,
because
I guess he does, yeah.
He's the coach who gave up. He's the coach who's like, I have seen all of my heroes fail, even the most promising ones. I cannot put myself out there again. And then he does, and he's just so proud of his boy Herc.
So my favorite character is obvious to you, Nate, because you know me very well.
Yeah.
And it is Hades.
Yeah.
I think James Woods nails it, kills it, knocks it right out of the park as being the best villain of all Disney. I think Hades is my favorite villain of all time across Disney movies.
Yeah, but I also, you and I have differing ideas on what makes a good villain.
That's why. So recently on Twitter, I know you don't have Twitter, I saw a post and a couple of our buddies were commenting about it, about who the best video game villain is, and I commented Handsome Jack from Borderlands, and that is my ideal type of villain. A villain that is super evil and will fuck you up and mess you up and ruin your life, but he does it in a very comical douchebag type of way. Those are my favorite types of villains.
Yeah, but that's not Hades. Like, Hades has the comical aspect, but he's not super evil.
No, but it's more like instead of him just being like, I'm evil, I will rule the world, I will devour it with an iron fist, it's more like, I'm going to be the biggest dick on the planet I can be and ruin your life.
He's like, my brother's got a better deal than me, fuck them, I won.
Yeah, that's what makes him such a... And like I said, a lot of it is James Woods. James Woods kills it as Hades.
I would have liked to see more Poseidon in the Hercules movie.
Before we get off of Hercules, I do want to make a comment about how fun the Disney Channel show was. Did you watch the show a lot?
Yeah, they actually introduced Poseidon.
Yeah. So that was a plus. There's a lot of things on my list. I'll get to it later, but you'll see is like where Disney stepped up after the movie came out and was like, we're gonna make a show of this.
Yeah. So yeah, Hercules is my number 6.
Number 6. We're not even in my top 10 yet.
Yeah, your honorable mention.
Don't worry, my next honorable mention is probably going to be top 3 for you, and that is 1991's The Lion King.
Not even on my list.
Really? Wow! That's normally like number 1 or 2 for most people on Disney movies.
Yeah, it used to be in the top 10. But another movie has since taken its place.
Yeah, if this was a movie full of nothing but original Disney movies and Pixar was not involved, it would be in my top 10. But I'm going to say, ever since Pixar came in to play, they took a lot of slots up. So my next one for my honorable mention is 2003's Finding Nemo.
Okay. Again, not on my list.
Not on your list. It was a fun movie. None of these are bad. I love all these movies. Honestly, it's just Finding Nemo, I think I've burnt myself out on because I've seen it so many times.
Finding Nemo is like one of the lower...
Really?
Definitely one of the lower movies for me.
Nate, just keep swimming, okay?
Like, I enjoyed it. It was a fun film. But it was nothing too special for me.
I think Finding Nemo was funny when I was a kid because 2003, I was probably like, 2003, I'm like 12. And so they kind of ruined it with Finding Dory. It's like you're kind of milking it a little too much, you know what I mean?
So I didn't even take the time to watch Finding Dory.
I did, and I don't even remember it that much. Yeah, it has something to do with her going to an aquarium or something like that. I don't know.
It's just one of the movies where I'm like, I'll watch it eventually if ever I got nothing else to watch.
And my final one on my honorable mentions that almost made the top 10 is 1953's Peter Pan.
Okay. Again, not on my list, but it was more that I think I like the movie Hook more.
Agreed. I do like that movie a lot.
And that is, like, compared to the animated Peter Pan, I'm just like, whatever.
Well, I forgot to ask you this at the beginning of the podcast. How do you feel, without spoiling your list, about newer Disney versus, like, classic golden age Disney. We're talking, like the Cinderellas and all the stuff in the 60s and 70s and stuff.
I like the stories a lot more. Like they're branching out into a lot more stories, especially lately. How they're not even having actual villains. It's just everyday life is the villain.
Yeah.
Society's perceptions of things is the villain. They don't have like personifications. I do really like that as a concept. I really miss the 2D drawings.
Right.
I love the 3D
I love it.
animation. Like it does really good, especially with specific movies and themes. But I really do miss just seeing the different art styles that artists had when they would bring their creativity to the genre and stuff.
Yeah, so for my list, obviously most of these movies are what came out when I was a kid, so it's going to be a lot of, the millennials versions of Disney. But I do gotta say, I do like a lot of the old school Disney movies, like the classics 2Ds and stuff like that. I just, like you said, they had such a place in society and such a place in my heart personally for like the animation style.
Yeah.
But that's my honorable mentions. Peter Pan didn't make the cut because the number 10 is really, really good.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Since I went over my honorable mentions, let's start with your number 10.
Okay. My number 10 is Wreck-It Ralph.
Didn't even make it on my list.
I put it on there because I love Ralph. He's a great character. And I love the idea of it basically being Disney's first attempt at a multiverse.
Oh, so you're talking about... So Wreck-It Ralph... Oh, I guess the first one is technically a multiverse because of all the games. I was thinking because the second one is the internet, and that's when in my head that's what
expanded upon it.
Yeah, in my head that was the multiverse. But you're right. Technically, the first one is a multiverse.
Yeah. So Wreck-It Ralph is their first attempt at like just basically bringing their entire IP together, because all fiction exists on internet, and the internet is just a collaboration. But then the first one, you didn't even have to be connected to the internet. You just had to be connected by electricity. So any arcade game and everything, all that is just... I really like that idea.
Oh yeah, it's good. So what makes the first one stand out more than the second one?
I think it's mainly the introduction of the characters. Like the second one doesn't really introduce any new characters.
Gonna be completely honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the second one.
Second one I liked. I really enjoyed it.
The second one to me is about where you put Finding Nemo.
Yeah. It wasn't... I didn't think it was anything special other than him just expanding on it. It was... And that's what it felt like. It felt more like an expansion of the first movie.
So specifically the first movie, what did you really like about it, though, besides the introduction of the characters?
The introduction of characters, the idea of a character from one video game being able to go to other video games and being a part of said video games. Like, he goes to a shooting game and becomes a soldier. He goes to a one-off Candyland racing game and becomes a racer.
He's got to get that medal, that medallion.
Yeah. Like...
Show him that he's not a bad guy.
I love the idea of multiverses. That's never been a secret.
Whoa, that's a shocker to the listeners, man.
It gave me the feel of an old show I like, Sliders.
Yes!
Just sliding into these different universes and adapting to them.
Oh, yeah. So this is going to be a staple for every one of these entries. I'm going to ask you, who is your favorite character on the movie?
Okay. Fix-It Felix.
Really? Over Ralph? Shocking,
Ralph
honestly.
is a really cool character, but I have more in common with Fix-It Felix because he's the guy that never gives up to... He always thinks he can fix shit. Even if he can't, but man, I wish I had that hammer. But yeah, like, he is... I mean, I guess he is the protagonist of Ralph's
I guess
game.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, he is the protagonist of that game. But he is a side character that just constantly believes in not just himself, but everybody else.
Obviously, the protagonist on the movie is the little girl.
She's definitely the co-star.
You wouldn't say she's the pro tag?
I would say she's the secondary pro tag. Like, there are two pro tags of this.
Well, I mean, Wreck-It Ralph is the main character, but is he the hero, technically?
Yes, he is the hero. But they're both the hero. Like I'm saying, this is a movie that has two protagonists. So Ralph and Penelope.
So you want to know a big reason why this is not in my top 10, and it's so petty. It's so petty.
You hate Sarah Silverman?
No, it has nothing to do with the voice acting or anything. Sarah Silverman's fine. When this movie got announced, they released a trailer. In the trailer, prominently in the trailer, was Sonic the Hedgehog. And it turned out to be just a fucking poster in the movie that's shown for 3 seconds. And it pissed me off so much. Because I thought Sonic the Hedgehog was going to be a character in this movie.
It would have been funny to see Eggman and the villain.
I was so pissed. Like, because when did this movie come out? This was what, 2014-ish? Something like that?
I genuinely have no idea.
That's why I wrote all the dates down when I made my list.
2012.
2012. So, 2012, I am 20 years old. I'm right out of high school. 2 years after high school. So, I'm pretty young and stupid, and I still love Sonic, and I still love him now. But I was like, oh, dude, Disney movie with Sonic in it. Hell yeah! For 3 seconds. I was so pissed. It was a good movie, though.
Yeah, I can understand why that, like...
They put it in the fucking trailer, Nate.
Yeah. They needed to show aspects of video games, and there's only a certain number of video games that are super
Even Bowser is in the goddamn movie for 3 seconds.
Yeah. They had to do some teasing, buddy.
Well, not only that, but that's like they probably had to spend a ton of money just to get those IPs allowed in the movie.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to have them, but we no longer have the budget
to. We put Sonic and Bowser in. That was like $5 billion. So.
Yeah, that. Now we have no more money.
All right, so let's move on. That was your number 10. So now we're
your number 10.
Now my number 10. My number 10. I've talked about this movie with you personally a lot. Came out in 2007, and it is the movie Ratatouille.
Okay.
Did Ratatouille make your list at all?
Not at all.
Oh, how could you not like this movie so much? This movie's awesome. This is the best, like, food-related animated movie I've ever seen.
This is just a mad movie for me.
Oh, that hurts my soul, Nate.
I watched the movie and I'm like, okay, this is a touching film.
Dude, looking at my list, because I made this list months ago. Looking at this list again, I should have probably put Ratatouille a little higher, to be honest. I love this movie so much.
I don't even think I cried at all during
Okay, you can't judge a movie just by how much you cry, Nate.
No, hold on. How I judge
hold on. I just picture you when you're rating these Disney movies. You know when you go to the doctor as a kid and they got one of those like how are you feeling pain schedule signs with the sad emoji and the crying emoji. You have that, but how many tears are dropping per like little emoji? And it's like, how would you rate this Disney movie on a my tear ducts are dry to weeping like a child?
Yes, tears per second. Look. It's a Disney film. I expect to feel some melancholic tones at some point in this movie.
Come on, man. This movie has such like he had to break out from his family of rats eating trash and garbage to like being respected by all of these people because he is a rat and he's running now a restaurant and stuff.
And you know what my thought process is on that one?
Oh god, I know what it's going to be.
What do you think it's going to be?
It's going to be like who wants rats in the kitchen?
No, that's not my thought process. My thought process is fuck those humans.
Why fuck those humans?
If they don't think you're good enough for them, then they don't matter. They should not matter to you. The rats who care about you, granted, they're rats that love eating trash, fucking make gourmet food for them.
Nate, this movie just made me feel really happy, okay? I like this movie a lot.
That's all well and good. And it was a happy feeling movie because it had almost no sadness in this movie.
Nate, you don't understand how happy I was in Kingdom Hearts 3 when they added Ratatouille to the game. because I was like, oh my god, they actually added this into the Kingdom Hearts game.
I am super glad for you. I'm just saying that for me, it is a very mad Disney movie.
No,
if I'm not feeling
boils my blood.
a certain kind of way for at least a little bit, and this movie did not make me feel that way at all. The entire film.
Okay, so for my question, it's kind of hard not to pick Lemmy, the main character. That's the best character in this movie because
I don't even know the names of the characters.
His name is Lemmy.
Whatever.
I'm pretty sure it's Lemmy.
I thought it was Remy.
Remy, that's it. It's Remy.
Oh, so I know the.
Shut up. It's been a while, okay?
Like
goldfish memory over here, okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I guess I would probably pick like the human dude.
What about Remy's brother, the one who's just like, hey man, we're just eating garbage, man. Just let us eat garbage.
Start with an E, right?
I don't remember his brother's name.
I remember he had like a very sophisticated sounding name.
Emil.
Emil. That's
sure. But yeah, my number 10 is Ratatouille. Love that movie. Underrated. Everybody should go watch it.
Yeah.
Nate, go when we get off this podcast, you got to rewatch Ratatouille.
I'm good. I am kind of surprised it never got like a second movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of ended the first movie pretty well, to be honest. Like, spoilers for the 2007.
So many other Disney movies.
Spoilers for the 2007 movie, but he ended up getting his own restaurant, and like, there's not really any more conflict. It's just like, oh, he's got a restaurant now.
So many other movies that they've done have also had very solid endings, and they're like,
money.
We can go again. We can do another one.
All right, we got to move on to number 9.
All right. Let me see here. Number 9 is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wow, didn't make my top 10. I'm surprised it made yours.
This one is a very close to me for childhood reasons.
It unlocked your true hot topic.
I mean, it wasn't even a Hot Topic thing because I didn't really go to Hot Topic. It was more of a. This is one of the movies where it's like you don't have to stay in the situation that you are happy in.
This is the movie where a sequel was definitely deserved because there was how many other doors to other places they could have visited? Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
I will say that after years upon years after watching this movie, I learned that they apparently made a book that does have him going to the other doors.
My question is, what door would you want him to go through the most?
I don't know. I mean, Valentine's Day for me, really, because that's my favorite holiday.
It's just gonna be he's gonna walk through the door and it's just gonna be a lot of fucking Hallmark cards.
No, I just imagine it's just a bunch of Cupids that reject him, and they're like,
You're not pretty
But then there's
enough.
like one Cupid that's like, but everybody deserves love. And all the other Cupids, like he's the, what's his name from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Rudolph.
No, the elf.
Rudolph.
The elf is not Rudolph.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Who cares?
I was just talking about it too, and that it's killing me that I can't think of the name anymore.
It's Lemmy.
It's not fucking Lemmy. Anyway, but yeah, like that's how I imagine it would go. Is he would go there, become enraptured with love, but then realize he already has love with Sally.
Oh, garbage!
And then like
this sounds like one of those.
All these
this sounds like one of those
Cupids.
It sounds like one of those straight to DVD type of movies.
Yeah, but so are a lot of Disney sequels.
Like did you know Pocahontas 2 happened?
Yeah. It was a straight to
Lady and the Tramp
VHS. 2. Again, straight to VHS. Like a lot of their sequels were straight to VHS.
So what made Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas so special to you?
Well, let's see here. First off, Halloween is my second favorite holiday.
What's number 1?
It. Valentine's Day. I just said that.
Yeah, duh. Never mind.
Nah, so yeah, Halloween is my second favorite holiday. I love costumes, putting on masks, and all that stuff. The idea of Jack, I love the Pumpkin King, who is like he has gained so much success in his genre that he himself is just like,
Yeah, he's the Fortnite guy.
there's got to be more, right? Like, this isn't everything.
He's the Fortnite guy.
He now is Jack, the guy from Fortnite. Though I will say their model of him could have been better. He is like, I love the idea where all of the holidays have a specific world you can go to. Again, it's a multiverse situation. Where you can explore the different worlds of different holidays and genres and see how vibrant and different they are from each other.
So I'm going to be completely honest, Nate. I never watched this movie until after I played Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was my introduction to this movie even existing.
I believe that.
I was like, whoa, this is a cool world. And they're like, no, that's a movie. I'm like, what? And then I had to go check it out.
Yeah.
I remember renting it from Blockbuster.
I love the skins that the gang gets when they go to that world, too.
Oh, yeah. Top tier Sora skins.
I hate the Keyblade, but I love the skins.
I love the Keyblade. Anyways, back to the movie. Who would you say is your favorite character?
Jack.
Jack?
Yep, I have no problem with saying the main character on this one. It is Jack.
I'm torn.
King.
I'm torn.
Okay.
It's not Jack. Jack is not my favorite character. I'm torn between Oogie Boogie, simply because Oogie Boogie is hilarious. Because he's so easily defeated, but he's so funny at the same time.
And he's also supposed to be like the most threatening character.
I'm Oogie Boogie. I'm gonna steal the Sandy Claus.
Yeah. But yeah, he does get defeated super easily when he himself, like...
He's a bag of bugs.
The threat of Oogie Boogie was mainly, like, booby traps set up around him.
Not gonna lie.
He himself wasn't very threatening.
A lot of the reason why I like Oogie Boogie so much is the song that came with Oogie Boogie.
Oh, yeah. And I think that might be another reason for Jack for me, because he has such a great melancholic song.
I don't like Jack's song. So the other one I was torn with is honestly Zero, the dog.
Well, yeah,
because I just love the dog.
Zero is should be everybody's like either secret one, like their the shadow one. Like he is the number one
to your heart.
Yeah, because he's such a good boy.
No, but I think Oogie Boogie's my favorite character. I gotta go with Oogie Boogie.
Okay, fair enough. So what's your number 9?
Oh, next one. Number 9 for me is going to be probably number 3 or 4 or number 1 to you. That is Atlantis: The Lost Empire, 2001.
Not on the list.
But you talk about Atlantis all the time.
We do, and while I do like the movie, when I was thinking about this list, again, this is kind of where like
Oh my god. I'm blown
when
away.
I was thinking about this list, I started thinking like, okay, why do I like this movie so much? And I'm like, it's just the characters.
Nate, I thought this movie would be top 3 for you. I 100% thought this would be top 3.
Milo
is you. You are Milo, dude. Yeah, you are Milo.
Is like he is top tier for me.
You are like if I were to say, hey, if Nate was a Disney character, who would he be? I'm fucking saying Milo, dude. You 100% are Milo.
I cannot rate a movie. Like, the movie itself is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
Alone is good.
But what I'm saying is, like, I think for the longest time, I just rated this movie higher because of Milo and how much I liked him as a character.
Oh, man.
Because when I started
who's your favorite character in the movie, Nate?
Then I started rethinking of the movie, and I'm like, okay, that was a good scene. But then I compared it to other movies on my list, and I'm like, but it doesn't quite reach up to what I like about them.
Fucking crazy to me.
So as a whole, the movie's I'd probably put the movie in top 15. Like, it'd probably be either 11 or 12.
That's crazy.
Just under 10.
That's crazy. What was your number 10?
Wreck-It Ralph.
You put Wreck-It Ralph over this movie? Are you out of your mind?
Yes. I did put it up there. but that's because I like the concept of the movie more.
Okay, so let's get back to the Atlantis movie and why I put it number 9. For me,
so
it's number 9 is because I love the idea of looking for lost treasure. That's why I like Indiana Jones. That's why I like the movie's National Treasure, all that stuff. I love the fact that he is looking for the lost city of Atlantis.
Yes.
And I also love the characters, like you mentioned. I love how the characters interact with each other. I love that Milo is the nerdy bookworm kind of guy who's just like, all right, well, I know where Atlantis is. I found Atlantis. You guys just need to get a team and go find it. And he's like, come on. It's like, what? No, I'm not going. And then ends up being dragged along with the team. Now, the villain, I forget his name. What's the villain's name, Nate?
Major or something?
Anyway,
I think they just call him the Major.
The Major was very obviously going to be the bad guy. Like, they didn't even try to plot twist that at all. Like, that was obviously happening. And I love the interactions between Milo and the Major, because the Major was just basically thwarting him every step he tried to take. For, like, I'm going to make the civilization better, and we're going to interact with them and make it. And he's like, nope, taking the power source. Don't even bother trying.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And for me, this movie came out in 2001, so I was about 9 years old.
Rourke is his name. Commander Rourke.
Yep. Little 9-year-old me. Kita. Kita had her own little, like, she unlocked something in me, Nate.
No, I agree. Silver-haired baddies.
Yeah. Kita for me was like, there's something into this. I need to look into this.
Yeah, this is a possible awakening. I will say that is probably one of my biggest beefs with Disney, right? Ever since that movie came out,
turning all their women thick.
No, that's not a beef with me at all. That's a A+. Good job. No, the biggest beef I have with them on this is that Kita is not a Disney princess.
She's not? Isn't she literally a princess?
Yeah, she is literally the princess in the movie, but she is not a canonical Disney princess.
So I have a video on my channel if you ever want to check it out about Disney worlds that need to go Kingdom Hearts. This is top tier because this deserves more love. This is a movie that is known as one of the underdogs of Disney because it doesn't get much attention, and I don't get why.
And
this one and another movie that's on my list are usually paired up as the underdogs of Disney, and it really bothers me.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good movie, and it almost made my top 10.
So for my favorite character, though, do I go with the baddie Kita simply because it's Kita, or do I go with an actual cool-ass character? Oh, man. I guess I'm going to have to go Milo.
I will say that the voice acting cast for this does have like so many actors and actresses in it that I absolutely love. I don't even remember who voices anybody in this movie. Like Milo, voiced by Michael J. Fox.
Oh, ha! Milo's my number one now. I didn't know that was him.
Cookie, the chef.
Yep.
Jim Varney.
I don't know who that is.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Don't know what that is.
Oh my god, you don't know the Ernest movies?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you to watch them. He's such a '90s icon for so many kids.
All right, we're running high on time. We need to move on.
All right, we're ending this on disappointment.
That's fine.
So my number 8 is Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Wow, shocked that's even on your list. Is it because you relate so much to the Hunchback?
No. I don't think so. I don't know. See how love-stricken
guy who's keeps himself concealed away in his room at all times.
He does
pounding for love. Only talks to himself. He doesn't have any friends.
He does have friends. He has the gargoyles.
Who are never confirmed real or not, to be honest.
They are confirmed real.
No! Come on.
They are. In the sequel, they literally...
No. Take it at face value, Nate. Pretend the sequel doesn't exist. No.
In the movie, they even do... Like, their actions help him against real people.
Nate, just be honest. You are the Hunchback. Going for the girl that's way out of your league because you have such high standards.
You messed up because I don't go after anybody.
You're right, but your standards are so high. You want perfection.
I mean, look, Esmeralda's a baddie. She is amazing.
She's a gypsy. She's a witch.
Yeah, but also I wouldn't go after her.
So is your favorite character in this movie obviously the priest?
Actually, that is one of the reasons why Hunchback is up here, because it is my favorite Disney villain.
It makes sense.
Of all time.
He is canonically one of the most evil villains of all time.
Like, he is what I think of when it comes to true villainy.
Didn't he try to, like, murder a baby?
Yes, he tried to murder the Hunchback.
Right. And didn't he also kill the mother or, like, abandon her or something like that?
Yes.
Damn, evil as shit, dude.
Not only then, he decided to raise that child in seclusion and basically convinced the child that it is so hideous society could not accept it. Then decided, you know what? I'm going to either kill this other woman or
lust over her,
sleep with her. Like, she has to decide to sleep with me or die. Yeah.
You're an evil witch! How dare you even come into my mind? But I want her.
Like, I'm not a very religious person. I consider myself more a spiritual person because I do believe in religion. I just don't really worship it very much.
I know it's there.
But the fact that the guy is such a massive hypocrite. Like, I'm a hypocrite when it comes to a lot of things.
Oh, I'm aware.
But holy fuck, I would like to think that I'm not the kind of hypocrite that is an insane villainous bastard. And that's what this guy is. Like, he is my all-time favorite Disney villain.
So who is your favorite character in the movie?
It's the Hunchback, honestly.
Quasimodo.
Yeah, it's obviously.
Okay.
Because I do like as a character, as a person, his whole personality, I do really like that. He is a very selfless character that genuinely wants people around him to be happy.
Makes sense. All right. That is an interesting pick, Nate.
What, do you have a favorite character in that movie at all?
Oh, dude, this is such a forgettable movie, I guess.
The goat.
There's a goat in that movie?
Esmeralda's pet goat.
Oh, yeah! I'm picking the goat.
Yeah, I figured. The goat.
I kind of forgot that. Dude, this movie was one of those movies I saw as a kid, and I was like, that exists, and I never watched it again.
I will say, when the sequel came out, I was really hyped to watch it, and then when I watched it, I'm like, so the only way he can find love is a blind chick. Okay. That's
Makes sense.
That's harsh.
Classic Disney.
Well, then, like, after I watched it years later, I'm like, oh, this is just Ben Grimm. This is just the thing. Okay.
Yep.
It takes a blind chick to love the monster-looking guy.
Yep.
All right, so what's your number 8?
My number 8, I hope, is on your list, because it should be. And that's 2004's The Incredibles.
It is not on my list.
Jesus Christ, Nate! I thought we were gonna have so many crossovers.
To be fair, I actually forgot this was a Disney Pixar film. I thought it was just a Pixar film.
I don't know what correlates. I literally just put it on my list.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is a Disney Pixar film.
Who cares? It's like I said. If you have a problem with it in the comments, just comment how stupid I am. So, so The Incredibles is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
It is pretty good.
Has some of the best family dynamics in all of Disney. I think that the way that they handled the family going into hiding and then coming out of retirement was very well. And I love the kids. I love their powers. I love how the dad has a temper because I can relate, and like one of my favorite scenes is when the dad is getting pissed off at the car, and he's just like, ah! And he just picks the car up, and there's a kid just standing there, and he's like, fuck, God,
That's it down.
Fucking.
To be fair, his temper, like, he doesn't have a temper. It's more of a situational temper,
which is me.
He's being forced to hide his true like self because the world doesn't want him around anymore. Like,
yeah,
that would make anybody have a temper. And then the scene you're describing is specifically he just got fired again, and his identity has to be changed again. Like, no, he.
I love that
There's
scene.
This very
that is like
reason.
That is my favorite scene in that whole movie, to be honest.
There is a very specific reason he has a temper. It's not he has a temper. I can relate. Like, no, he does. Like, he's a pretty calm guy from what we see in the movie.
Didn't he throw his boss through four walls?
Yes, except for very situational moments.
Which, try to explain that. To like, oh yeah, that's just a guy who's at a desk.
He saw an old woman getting mugged, and his boss was like, I don't give a fuck. You're here right now. You're about to be fired if you do. And he's like, okay, fuck this shit. I'm out.
So, like, we were just talking about Disney and Pixar making baddies really thick. What do you think? What do you think about Miss Incredible, Elastigirl?
Helen Parr is like...
That's like the go-to. Everybody has a comment about her when it comes to baddies on Disney.
So, there is actually a character in The Incredibles that really... He played a character that made me think of this even more. The guy's name is Jason Lee. He plays Syndrome.
Another great villain.
Yeah, he plays the villain. A villain that I can kind of understand, actually. Like, I somewhat understand his motives, don't exactly agree with his methods.
Another one of my favorite scenes.
He plays a character named Brody in the movie Mallrats, who is obsessed with comic books and superheroes.
Never seen Mallrats.
To the point, well, I mean, I like it. I honestly don't know if you would like it. It's a Jay and Silent Bob film.
Yep. I know what it is. I've just never seen it and don't care about it.
But Brody is obsessed with comic books and superheroes to the point of sexual attraction. And he has, like, entire, like, questions of what he would ask the creators of these characters on what kind of sex the characters would have based on their superpowers.
What a weirdo.
And when he meets Stan Lee, he asks him about, like, all of these characters and, like, is the Thing, like, rock everywhere, even his dick? Or can Mr. Fantastic, lengthen his dick? Like, all these things. Then he shows up in a movie where those questions are answered. Because Helen Parr is incredibly flexible and incredibly flirtatious with her husband when we first see them in their younger time. And then, like, she can expand everything.
Nate, this is a family podcast, Nate.
Well, they did a shit job of making this a family-friendly film. They put Brody as the villain and answered his question.
That's another one of my favorite scenes. You were talking about Syndrome is when he freezes them and he's doing his monologue, and then he's like, and that's why, and he like throws him and he throws him in the air on accident. He goes, "Ah, damn it."
For me, it's like he's like, "Oh, you sly dog. You almost got me doing a monologue." Like, he knows what it.
But I love the part when he has him frozen with his little finger beam. Yeah. And then he's trying to make a point, and he raises his hand up like, and that's why, and then he goes flying. He's like, ah, shit.
Yeah. But now he's got to go find him.
All right, so we need to move on. Who is your favorite character in The Incredibles?
That's actually a really tough one.
It is a very tough one. I have so many fucking good characters in this movie.
Yeah, I'm
Jack.
I
knew it.
Can't. Jack. I really want them to do like a show where it's
Jack has a prominent role in the second one.
He does, but it's still like it's not like a time skip. I'm talking about I want to see Jack older.
Oh, okay.
I want to see him in like his teenage year, kind of like a Gohan situation.
Okay. So who's your favorite character in the movie?
I guess I'll stick with the main Bob. I'll go
Bob,
Bob.
Mr. Incredible himself.
Yeah.
I'm torn. There's two characters I really, really loved as a kid. One is Dash. I really liked Dash as a kid. Mm-hmm. Because he was everything I wanted to be. As a little kid, I wanted to be fast, and I wanted to run fast. He had blonde hair like me. He looked just like me.
I remember watching that and thinking Dash was such an annoying little shit.
I was an annoying little shit, and still am.
I was like, fucking Dash, shut the fuck up, please.
I was 2004, so I was literally like 13.
13?
Something like that, yeah. So, I was about Dash's age, blonde-haired, ADHD, annoying as shit, and my dream was to be able to run like the Flash.
Was Dash 14?
I don't know. 13? I don't know. Don't matter.
He was like 9.
Doesn't matter. When I was a kid, Dash was my favorite character. 100% favorite character. Yeah. As an adult looking back, I gotta say, Syndrome, pretty great. I love he gives me very big Hades vibes. When I was talking about
almost all of these, your picks, your favorite character is the villain.
I know. They told you, when you give me a villain who's just douchey, I don't know why it resonates with me. They're so funny to me.
I don't know why it resonates with you either.
This guy gives me very much Hades vibes, and I mentioned Hades is my favorite villain.
Yeah.
So, we're going to move on to number 7.
Alright, my number 7 pick is Zootopia.
Another one. Man, no crossovers yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess we kind of had it with your honorable mention in my Hercules.
Yeah, but we're almost at an hour, and I assumed we'd be almost done because I thought we were going to have a whole bunch of crossovers.
True. Yeah. I figured we would have had them too, but then...
But you picked bad movies, so...
I want to go there. You don't want to go there, buddy, mister. My favorite character is the bad guy in every film.
That's not true. Ratatouille, I said Remy.
You didn't even know his name. You just said Lemmy.
Fuck you. So what makes this movie so good to you?
Zootopia, I mean, I know it's not a well-known secret, but I do love werewolves.
What?
Yeah, I know it's a little mind-boggling, but
that's crazy.
Zootopia is probably like the closest to a anthropomorphic animal world that they're probably going to do with werewolves. So we get wolf people.
There wasn't even werewolves in the movie, Nate.
There were wolf people, but they were kind of the bad guys.
Oh, shocker. Wolves being the bad guys, Nate.
Yeah.
Never would have seen that coming.
That is probably my biggest gripe with... That is my biggest gripe with Disney. That they constantly make the wolf the bad guy.
What's that old story? The big bad wolf, Nate?
Anyway, Zootopia. I just really like all of the characters. There is not a single character in the movie that I don't like the role they're doing.
Well, you better figure out who your favorite one is.
Oh, that Nick Wilde is
the fox.
Yeah,
100% my favorite one too. Yeah,
the closest to a wolf, but also extremely cunning.
Nate, at least I didn't pick the sheep as the bad guy as my favorite one. Okay.
I would have called bullshit if you had. Because she should not be anybody's favorite character.
She's so great.
She's an okay character. She does good at the role she's made for.
No.
But she is not a great character material.
Nick is...
Especially your taste.
Nick is spot on. Hilarious. I love sarcastic little douches.
So this movie... One of the things I absolutely love about it is that it showcases like what a world would be like if you had different like cultures and whatnot, but on a scale of not just population size, but just physical size. Because you have like parts of the city that are meant for small animals, and you have large animal parts for the city as well. And then you have those interacting with each other for, like, the scene of Judy Hopps going through the small central area. She's making sure she doesn't step on any of the smaller creatures.
Yeah.
I just really liked that concept of so many different factors of society having to come together and doing a really good job of blending in.
That makes sense. I did. It was a good movie, and the story was really good too. I liked the whole like rabid animal aspect and trying to figure out why they're going crazy.
Yeah, and taking a prey animal and making them want to become an officer and a peacekeeper, which everyone was like, she can't do that. But then she's like, fuck you, it's not all about strength. It can be about agility and cunning. So yeah, I just liked the aspect of the entire film. The villain, yeah, okay. I'm okay with her. But yeah, overall I would say the dynamic between Judy and Nick was also a really great aspect as well.
Don't look up the dynamic on the internet.
So that actually brings up another thing.
Oh God, Nate! I was trying to look past that.
No, not that part of it. There is a I don't remember their name, but there is an artist that does a full-on webcomic.
Where are you going, Nate?
Let me finish and stop. Get your mind out of the gutter. That does a full-on webcomic that continues the Zootopia world.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they just expand upon already established lore, but in the art style of Zootopia. Like, they are a perfect copy of it. It's just 2D rather than 3D.
Huh.
And it is amazing. I really wish I could remember the artist's name because their comic is just astounding because it goes into the depths of different characters and just different aspects of the city. It is a really good one. If I had any power whatsoever at Disney, I would be like, hey, hire this person. Let's do a Zootopia 2. Because they understand what we did with the first movie.
Another world I want on Kingdom Hearts. Go to my video, check it out.
Yeah, and I fully agree with this one. Because I would love to see Kingdom Hearts in Zootopia, especially with the fact that Sora transforms every time he goes into another world.
What animal would Sora become?
I mean, I want to say wolf, but it's not going to be a wolf.
It would be a fox, I think.
I don't even think it'd be a predator, honestly. He has such he
became a lion in Lion King.
Yeah, but that's because lions are the dominant species in it. Whereas Zootopia, there is no dominant species; they're all equal.
That's true.
So it would be more based on his personality. I just don't see Sora as a predator kind of character.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe
hippo.
No, not a hippo.
I don't know.
Hippos are extreme predators.
Like I just said a random animal name. I just said a random animal.
I honestly would probably put him like with a rabbit because Judy.
Nah.
I'm just saying,
I can see Donald being a rabbit.
Donald to be a duck.
I know.
Like it is probably the one world where the Goofy and Donald don't actually have to change whatsoever, even though they would, because
Goofy.
when going into other worlds, they for some reason change.
Yeah, when Goofy became a turtle.
Yeah, like what? So
Donald just became a flying bird.
I'm blanking on so many like animals right now. Because
it's not a big deal.
I want Sora to not just be a rabbit.
He's just going to be a lion again. It's fine, Nate.
I don't want him to be a lion either because, again, I don't see him as a predator. But I am blanking on animals at the moment. So, yeah, Zootopia is my number 7.
Okay.
You said Nick is your favorite character?
100%.
So he's both our favorite characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so my number 7, grab your spaceship. Let's go smell that ocean air. We're going on a vacation to Hawaii. 2002's Lilo and Stitch.
I knew this would be on your list.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Not your list?
No.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was a very touching movie.
Dude, you want to talk about emotional? I figured this would be on your list.
I do really enjoy the film.
This movie's fantastic.
I think the issue, like the reason why it wouldn't be on my list is because I watched the series.
I was going to bring that up next.
The series itself had, because of my brain, I don't remember things. Like I think something is happening in one thing, but in reality, it's like a completely separate thing, just connected to it. So what I'm remembering might be in the series, but it also might be in the movie.
What?
Well, just like the blending of the emotions and whatnot. So like I remember finding it more zany than emotional. But I think that might be because I'm thinking of the series.
Yeah, the series was more comical.
Yeah. So, like, I try to remember the movie, and I do remember some emotional moments, but none of them really hitting me hard.
So, I was going to mention how the Lilo and Stitch animated series is pretty much one of my all-time favorite Disney shows of all time. And I was just going to bring up how great that was. But what started it all was the original movie, and that was... I love the fact that it showed Stitch as the undefeatable, unbreakable monster becoming like, wow, I met up with this family and now I'm feeling emotions, and becoming like a loyal friend to Lilo. And I don't know, I just like that aspect. It's the taming the beast and becoming a friend type of thing.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. It is a good sentiment. It is a very touching movie. The art style was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite art styles, but it was definitely a really good one.
You know what irritates me though? Because I just thought about this. So if you ever rewatch Lilo and Stitch the movie on Disney Plus, do you remember the scene where Lilo is hiding from Nani and she hides in the dryer?
They changed it to a pizza box.
Yes, they got rid of that because they didn't want kids hiding in dryers. And that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
I mean, I agree that I would think that's stupid, but then we have that whole Tide Pod fiasco, and I'm like...
Okay, I get...
Maybe humanity isn't smart.
I get why they did it. It's really stupid that they had to do it. But why did they turn it into a fucking pizza box? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, the scene is literally in the laundry room. Why is there like a pizza box?
That they kept detergent in or something like that.
Anyways.
I will say...
Nani?
Well, not just Nani. All of the adults in that, like, they made all of the adult females just thick.
What about Ice Cream Guy?
I mean, he was thick in his own right, too, man.
Poor guy never got his ice cream cone. Life. He never got his ice cream cone.
Never did.
I don't think in the original movie, I don't think they ever showed him actually eating ice cream.
No, it just kept falling over.
Like the scene where he finally got his ice cream cone, and then the giant spaceship knocked it off with its wing. And he's like, oh, man. So, who is your favorite character in the Lilo and Stitch movies?
I'm going to go with Stitch.
Stitch? Not Jumba or Pleakley?
No. Maybe Mr. Bubbles?
Or Ganta?
Yeah. I'll stick with Stitch.
I mean, Stitch is the obvious answer. Although, Nani, though, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to stick with Stitch. Like I said, Lilo and Stitch just hit a certain place in my heart at the age I was when it came out in 2002. All about family and how important family was. And I go, yeah. Because I was going through some stuff around that time.
Understandable.
So yeah, that's my number 7.
Nice. So what's your number 6?
Isn't it your turn?
We already went over my number 6.
Oh. Now, I said this with Atlantis, Nate. How angry I was that it wasn't on your list. If this one is not on your list, we're going to fight, okay?
Yeah.
My number 6 came out in 2002, same year as Lilo and Stitch. And that movie was the other underdog that I was talking about earlier, and that is Treasure Planet.
Race, you already know this isn't on my list.
Why the fuck is this not on your list?
Because alright. The reason this isn't on my list is because while I did enjoy the characters of the movie and I did enjoy the, like, overall storytelling and everything, there were a lot of moments in it that it just kind of left me wishing there was a bit more.
Well, I think this movie was supposed to get a sequel, but it was so underwhelmed that it didn't get a sequel.
Not exactly, like, I'm not talking about, like, I wish there was more, like, a sequel. I meant, like, I wish there were certain scenes that were extended.
Like?
The scene where he's, like, talking to... What is the cyborg's name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a long... See, and that's, like, I don't even remember the names of the characters. Jim is talking to the cyborg in the, I guess the kitchen, but they don't call it the kitchen. But he's talking to him, and they're having this moment. I'm like, oh, this is a really touching moment. But then it ends. Like it doesn't reach a peak of emotion. It just kind of like it does a build up and then just moves to the next scene.
His name is John Silver.
Oh, John Silver. Okay, I wasn't
Silver's
sure if it was,
in the name, Nate.
I wasn't sure if it was the same names as like straight up from Treasure Planet or not. But yeah, it just kind of moves on to the next scene without actually reaching the climax of emotion, and I was just like, whatever. And then it does the exact same thing where between the captain and the professor, and I'm like,
they have
okay,
babies later.
Yeah, they show it, but then but there's like a couple of scenes where they're like talking and going back and forth, and I'm like, yeah, and then that's it. Like it doesn't go further. It doesn't reach a conclusion to even the conversation that they're having. It just moves to the next scene, and I'm like, wait, what? Like what was the conclusion?
Nate, I think a lot of this movie, for me personally, is nostalgia filter, because it's like as a kid, I was like, yo, the setting's badass. I love the characters; they're badass. You get to fight aliens, that's badass. You get a flying spaceship and in space and get to travel through portals and stuff, and you got the cool hoverboard aspect, and man, Jim is so cool looking and he's so badass.
Yeah, it had all of the ingredients. Like it had the story, the artwork, the characters, the setting, all of it top tier. I loved all of that. It kept leaving me hanging in a lot of spots, and that's what kind of downed it for me.
I could see that, but I don't agree. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of it is when I was a kid, I loved all the cool stuff in it, basically. Yeah, I loved how cool Jim Hawkins was.
I would honestly love if they did a video game, not exactly like of the same characters thing, but of the setting itself. Because I do think a like sci-fi colonial pirate age setting would be amazing.
Now, Nate, you just shit-talked all over this. Who would you say is your favorite character?
I don't think I shit-talked all over it. I said everything was amazing. It just kept leaving me hanging.
Hey, you basically told me how much you hated this fucking movie.
Yeah, obviously. Gorp.
Gorp. Isn't that the one that can...
shape-shifting...
His name is Morph.
Morph?
Yeah.
Again, I don't remember names even.
How do you not know this?
And I believe Morph was the only original character.
I don't know. I didn't even know it was based on something, and I just liked it as a kid.
It's literally based off of the Treasure Island.
No, I don't know. But I don't know what that is.
You need to watch Muppets Treasure Island with your family.
I don't think I've ever once seen a single Muppets anything.
That's sad. Extremely sad. Wait, that can't be true. I thought you watched the Muppets Christmas Carol.
No, why would I ever watch that?
I thought we were talking about it once.
No. I don't even remember watching Sesame Street as a kid.
Okay. Anyway. So that's your number 6?
Yeah, and I didn't get to tell you my favorite character, Nate.
What's your favorite character?
See, I resonate a lot with Jim Hawkins.
Yeah.
But I also love the cyborg and all of his coolness and badassness.
John Silver,
that cyborg arm is what got me to want to have a cybernetic arm when I was a kid. Having
cool arm.
Having that arm be able to do whatever I want. It'd be so fucking cool.
Well, it could do everything, but it was awesome. It was very useful, especially for the role that he played on the ship.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jim Hawkins. Jim Hawkins was just so fucking cool.
I will say Jim Hawkins' surfboard skid thing that went in space was pretty sick.
It gave me a lot of Back to the Future vibes.
Yeah.
Another reason why I resonate so good with this movie, Nate.
Who played Jim Hawkins?
It's someone famous. I know that. I want to say, it's that
Joseph
one guy.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was just about to say it's that one guy from that movie.
He's another one of my favorite actors that you don't see very often.
All right, so what's your number 5?
So my number 5 is Aladdin.
Hey, we got a crossover, Nate! No way! That is my number 3.
Okay.
1992's Aladdin.
Okay. So what makes it so high on your list?
So Aladdin was my number 2 for the longest time. Basically, for most of my early childhood until another movie came out. And Aladdin, I don't know. It was like one of the very first Disney movies I ever saw as a kid. Because 1992, I was 1 when that came out. Yeah. Aladdin was so cool. I loved Genie. Genie's my favorite character. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like, Genie's the best character in that movie.
Obviously.
Yes. And so you have the seriousness of Aladdin and trying to save the princess and blah, 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 defeat the evil Jafar. You got the classic good versus evil. And then you got the wackiness of the Genie. And the Genie just made the entire movie better.
Yeah.
I don't know. It hit real good with me as a kid.
Aladdin used to be like top 3 for me.
100%.
It has been moved down obviously to number 5. But this is where, remember when I said like that by no means do I really think these movies are any better than them. It's just by like just a smidge are they on this list in a different thing. That's where it is with this. Aladdin is just a smidge underneath 4 and 3 for me, because Genie, like the whole premise of the movie is great. The artwork is great. Genie's hilarity and comedy is really what makes it for me on this film.
Yeah, if Genie wasn't in the movie would suck.
I don't think it would suck. It would be different, because I did like the new Aladdin movie, the live action one.
I was not a fan of that movie.
I liked it. I don't think it was as good, but I did like it. But this one, I just really liked the dynamic between all of the characters, but Genie especially, just all of the inside jokes that were meant for him and the cast. The fact that Robin Williams did a lot of improv when it came to voicing the Genie.
It also helped that Genie had serious moments as well. Like, it made you feel something when Jafar got the lamp and you were like, Genie's like, well, I can't do nothing now. He's my master now. I have to go destroy Agrabah. It
has a great soundtrack, both humorous and love. It had great chemistry between Aladdin and Jasmine. It really does just tick almost every single box.
Can we real fast talk about that Aladdin Super Nintendo game?
Yeah, sure.
You remember how awesome but insanely tough that game was?
The only thing that I found difficult in that game was the escape from the cave.
Oh yeah, that's the scene. That's the level I'm talking about, buddy.
But once I got past it, which I will say took a very long ass time. Once I did get past it, and it just kind of jumped back down to difficulty, and I'm just like, okay.
I played that game on the Game Boy Color. That's the first time I ever played it.
Oh, I played it when it came out.
Nice. But yeah, I love this movie. It's why it's my number 3. Also, I have in my notes to mention how awesome the TV show was. Did you ever watch the Aladdin TV show?
I did, because it introduced another Genie. It introduced some cat chick that was kind of like Egyptian.
I love the Egyptian themes.
Yeah, it had a bunch of different themes in it that it was really enjoyable, and like I wouldn't have really thought to go with the show, but because of Genie, it somehow made sense, because Genie can do and interact with anything. And I did like one thing I did find odd when I first started watching this show was that Genie had his bracelets back on.
I noticed that as well.
And I was like, what happened? And then like when I watched it, I guess I got kind of used to it again. Like I didn't really question it after watching it a while. But then as I got older and I saw someone
He's
or someone had
enslaved
mentioned
again.
it, and I was like, yeah, why is that? And I'm like, wait, I have Google now. I can try to find this out, see if there is an actual answer. I don't remember what that answer is. I could Google it again now. It's been
That's fine.
a long time. But yeah, I really did like the series. I will say that Disney, while their straight to VHS sequels were not always good.
Prince of Thieves was great.
Yes, it was.
Prince of Thieves was absolutely fantastic. Although I was bummed that Robin Williams did not voice Genie anymore.
Yeah. He came back and voiced Genie one more time, I thought.
Did he? I don't remember.
Because there were 3 movies. There was Aladdin.
I don't think I saw the third one. I know I saw Prince of Thieves, and I really liked that one.
I thought Prince of Thieves was the third one.
I don't know.
There was, Aladdin 2, and then Aladdin, Return of Jafar, and then Aladdin, the King of Thieves.
Oh, I did see Return of Jafar. Okay, I have seen all of them then.
Yeah. And then there was the series after that.
Huh. But yeah, that's a great pick, Nate. That's why it's my number 3.
Yeah, number 5 for me.
All right.
So what's your number 5?
We both said Genie is our favorite, right?
Yes.
Okay. My number 5.
Oh, almost forgot. We can't mention Aladdin without mentioning Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, yeah.
Iago.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, the man with the most annoying voice somehow etched into all of our hearts.
We said rest in peace to Gilbert Godfrey, but not to Robin Williams. How fucked up are we, Nate?
That's because to us, he's not dead. He's always going to be with us.
Oh, yeah?
Like, every time I watch a movie and I'm like, oh man, this is, and then at the end of it, I'm like,
me and my son watched Night at the Museum 2 last night. Yeah. And seeing Robin Williams, I'm just like, that's so sad.
Yeah. I don't even think about him having passed until after the movie, and then I'm like, then I get really depressed. I'm like, fuck. And then I watch another movie and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, fuck.
That's the reason why I haven't rewatched Hook in such a long time, because I don't want to be sad.
Yeah. But damn, he made so many good movies.
All right, so number 5.
Number 5.
My number 5 came out in 1999, and it is the movie Tarzan.
Okay.
Not your top 10?
It is. All right. So this, I actually forgot to ask you this because it is tied with something on my list.
I don't accept ties.
Then no, it's not on my list.
Crazy.
Because this would be tied for number 3 for me.
Number 3? Then wait, what? Why wouldn't you just put it number 4?
Because I did put it as number 3. With Along and the other one. I just forgot to ask you about ties.
Then you should have made it number 3 or 4, Nate.
I know, I forgot.
Oh my god. Well, I am so upset with you. All right, so my number 5 is Tarzan. And the reason why I love this movie so much is it has the perfect blend of action and making it feel sad. Just so sad.
I guess. Like, I didn't really feel sadness.
Okay. I'm going to tell you right now.
I felt sadness.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I feel sadness.
No, listen. When I was a little kid, when they started playing the "You'll Be in My Heart" song, and was showing him like all sad and shit, trying to figure out where he belonged. I was crying my eyes out as a little kid.
I will say that there was a time when the music in this movie really did hit me hard.
Oh yeah, man.
But then
those creatures like me.
Yeah, the "You'll Be in My Heart" song.
Oh,
we learned that for choir. And
that ruined it, didn't it?
It didn't like ruin it, but it did take away some of the emotional aspect to it.
I was not in choir because I'm not a nerd. No,
we learned it for choir. We learned it for choir for Grandparents' Day, and we were going to sing it to our grandparents.
That's so cute, Nate.
That never fucking happened. The concert of that day was canceled for, I don't even remember. I think it was like weather or something. But the concert was canceled and never rescheduled. So we learned that song, spent days upon days singing that song to the point where it lost almost all emotional feeling to me. And then we never even sang it for our grandparents. And I'm just like, give me the song back, please.
So, in this movie, what did you think of the villain Clayton?
He was basically just Gaston 2.0.
generic villain.
Yeah. Generic macho villain that thinks violence can solve everything.
Ha! I will hunt the gorillas. Gorillas!
Yeah, like... to the point that I remember reading a fan theory that he is the descendant of Gaston, of one of the three triplets that are always falling over Gaston. And I'm like, yeah. I can see it.
So
I don't even argue with it.
And this is another one that I wanted to mention, how awesome the Disney Channel TV show was. I would say, out of all of the TV show spin-offs of Disney movies, this is the best. Oh, no, this is not the best one. I forgot Lilo and Stitch exists. It's the second best one.
I honestly would say Aladdin would probably be the best
one. No. It would, for the spin-off shows, Lilo and Stitch is my number one, but Tarzan is a very close second. The reason why, I'll talk about this in another video. Check it out. Another reason why I like it.
Why do you whisper?
I don't know.
When you do that, it just sounds weird.
I don't know.
In my ear, because you're whispering in my ear.
Nate, check out my other video, Nate.
This is not an ASMR video.
No, but I talk about it in another video how I would love to see the Tarzan get a sequel world in Kingdom Hearts, kind of like how Aladdin got a sequel world. You know, you went back to Agrabah in the second game. I'd like them to go back to the jungle for Tarzan, and people are like, "Well, how's that going to happen?" They ended it with I almost said Gaston. Fuck, with I just drew a blank on the dude's name. What's that dude's name? The hunter.
Oh, Clayton.
With Clayton dying, and getting basically ended, and I mentioned in the comments about the TV show and how the TV show opened up so much of this this world, as in. Bringing in villains like I forget the name of the gorilla, but the gorilla who wanted to take over the clan.
I think it was like Kerchak or something.
No, Kerchak's the original gorilla. He was basically the surrogate father of Tarzan.
Oh, you're talking about Turk?
No, I'm talking about in the TV show. The TV show, there's a villain gorilla who's like Kerchak's brother who wants to take over the tribe of gorillas.
I get what you're saying.
He's a villain of Tarzan in the show.
Okay.
They also brought in a villain. I forget her name as well. It's right on the tip of my tongue, but she's like an Egyptian type of villain who uses magic. So magic literally gets introduced to the Tarzan universe because of the TV show. And I make a comment about it in my other video about how that's perfect for Kingdom Hearts, who is surrounded by magic. Yeah. And then they even introduce Clayton's sister, who wants revenge for killing Clayton, so she tries to kill Tarzan the entire time in the TV show. The TV show just brought so much to the lore of Tarzan.
If only they could explain that Clayton killed himself.
I know, but shut up. But yeah, it's... I just love that as a kid, how the Tarzan TV show just expanded so much on what was already there in a great movie.
I will say that the scene of Clayton basically hanging himself with vines was pretty fucked.
Yeah, for being a movie that came out in 1999, and I'm like 7 years old watching this as this dude hangs himself. I'm like, Jesus.
Disney has always never really shied away from their villains getting really fucked up endings.
Look at the Black Cauldron.
But that one in particular, considering suicidal rates, and as you get older and you think about that.
Well, as a kid, I'm just like, oh man, I guess he's gone. And then as I watch as an adult, I'm like, that dude fucking murdered himself.
Yeah, oh man, that guy. Dude.
He just offed himself.
And even while Tarzan's like trying to stop him from
Clayton, no, stop! Give me your hand! No, I'd rather die.
Then you just think of like all the people who tried to stop people from committing suicide, and you're just like, oh fuck, this is just so many layers of fuck.
So real quick, before we get off this movie, what did you think of the sequel and how the sequel movie made Hit talk about Tarzan as a little kid?
I liked it. I liked the little bit more depth of his childhood.
Agreed. There's not a single aspect of Tarzan through all the movies and all the TV shows and everything. Tarzan has always just been fantastic to me. I love Tarzan.
Yeah. I like, this is, now that I think about it more, I think this is probably going to go the route of Atlantis. Like, I'm okay with it not being on my list. Because I like the characters more than the story itself.
That's crazy. The story's good, though.
The story is good.
It's about
so is
about wild man falling in love with the people like him.
Yeah, the story's good. But so is Atlantis' story. It's good, but I like the characters as the characters more.
Who is your favorite character?
Tarzan.
Yeah, it's Tarzan.
Without a doubt.
It's easily Tarzan.
Yeah. But
are you sure it's not Turk, his annoying little douche friend?
Yeah.
Who's always just like, come on, Tarzan. We don't need to do that.
I will say that Jane is like almost like right on his heels.
You know Turk's a girl, right?
Yes.
You said his heels.
I'm talking about Tarzan.
Oh.
Tarzan is my favorite. Jane is right on his heels.
Oh, I thought you were saying Jane annoyed you.
No. Well, I mean...
She's very annoying. And Turk annoys me. Turk annoys the crap out of me, to be honest.
Jane never annoyed me. Jane played Jane. Like, that is Jane. An inquisitive woman who finds a wild manish thing a hunk. Like...
Yeah. Anyways, so we're going to move on, Nate.
Okay.
So, number
4. Encanto.
I've never seen that movie.
I
have no opinions on this movie, Nate.
Okay. Well, okay. Encanto, the reason why it is or up there on number 4 is the fact that it is one of those where is no...
Is Encanto the one where We Don't Mess With Bruno came from?
Yes.
Is it the one where the family all has superpowers and stuff?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
I actually think you would like it due to The Incredibles, like a family of superpowered beings. But the reason why this is like I like it so much is because there is no definitive villain in it.
Is the villain life? No.
The villain is just like
you can spoil it. I don't care. I'm probably not gonna watch this movie.
Well, it's not exactly. I'm not caring about spoiling it for you. You've had time to watch it. It's more along the lines of I'm trying to find the words on how to explain it. The villain is like many people have their own ideas of who the main villain is because of the certain situations that there are. Like the grandma could easily be a villain because she's basically like she becomes extremely scared of everything changing and she doesn't want things to change to the point that she lets that fear guide her to certain words, but she never does anything outright like villainous like or old school Disney villains. She doesn't like try to kill anybody or anything like that.
That's boring.
She just berates them. Then you have another character who's a cousin who literally can hear everything within their hometown, their village. Everything that is said or done, she hears it, but she actively chooses to not tell people of that information. So technically she could be a villain because she's lying by omission to everybody about what is going on with the family. So you got people who do human things and they could be the villains, But in reality, the villain is just expectations of yourself. Like, people have expectations that they think other people have expectations of them. So that is what drowns this whole family. And it's a good teaching moment. And I really love the power sets in this movie.
So who would you say is your favorite character?
That's a tough one because
I'm about to tell you my favorite character, Nate.
You're gonna say Bruno?
I don't know. I don't have one.
I feel like that's the only name of the characters you know.
I know there's a girl with curly hair and big glasses. Isn't she like the main character?
Yes. I think her name's Marabella.
That's my favorite one right there.
Really?
I have no idea. I literally just know her from the trailer.
I don't know. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, who's my favorite character? What is the power set that I like the most? But I'm trying to think of them as like their characters. Personality-wise, I guess I will go with Mirabelle. She is
best character.
She is the protagonist. She is, honestly, personality-wise, probably the best personality because she's like trying to get everyone to. Well, no, she doesn't even do that. Fuck.
All right, Nate, just give me an answer, buddy.
I'm gonna go with her dad, who he doesn't have powers, and he keeps trying to tell his daughter, "Hey, it's okay that you don't have powers. I don't have powers."
Huh? So sounds very My Hero of them.
I'll go with him. Well, the only difference
looks
is
like they stole this movie from another fucking franchise.
No, it's like her family is the only family in the valley that has powers. Everyone else in the valley does not have powers.
No,
but they are the guardians of the valley.
Okay.
But power set wise, I'm gonna probably go with her sister who has the power of plant control.
Hell yeah.
Which
I love that power set.
Yeah, Isabella uses that power to basically make herself and everything around her pretty.
Aww.
Like she grows fresh roses in her hair, and all of them get a unique room based on their power.
No, you need to go full Poison Ivy.
And her room is just full of flowers, and just it's a beautiful room, just objectively.
You take over the world like Poison Ivy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, she becomes obsessed with perfection, and so Mirabelle, like, with Mirabella's questioning of, like, what the family's purpose of powers and all that, like, why doesn't she have powers and stuff like that, Isabella realizes that she doesn't have to be perfect. And by having imperfect things, things can be even more beautiful. So she adds more splashes of color in her flowers. She becomes more messy looking, but also that adds a different charm. Stuff like that.
All right.
But Bruno's room was sick as fuck. It was like a sand Egyptian place of future telling.
But we don't talk about Bruno.
Oh, but Camilla had shapeshift.
Okay, Nate. All right. That's great. We're going to move on now. You're just in a circle of, oh, this room's awesome, this room's awesome, this room's awesome.
Well, you don't see Camillo's room, but his power is shapeshifting, so I'm going to say his power is my favorite.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Anything to make you a werewolf.
Well, no, I don't think he can shapeshift to animals. I think he can only shapeshift into other people, like Mystique.
Okay.
All right, so that's my number 4.
All right, my number 4 is honestly on my list, the newest movie on my list. Came out in so recently, Nate, 2010. Which was, it's like 14 years ago, and I go, oh god, that was 14 years ago? 2010 is when I graduated high school.
Oh man.
That movie is Tangled.
Okay.
That
actually was on my list, but I took it off.
I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
It took a very boring story of Rapunzel and made it fucking badass by adding the best character in this entire movie, Flynn Rider.
Okay.
Flynn Rider is hands down the best character in this movie. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Like, there's no way he's not the best character. And having Rapunzel carry around a frying pan as a weapon because she just keeps slapping people in the face with it. It's so funny. And she also learns how to use her hair to fight, like using it to like grapple people and stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the art style of this movie is really good. I think the story is really good with the evil stepmother and having basically she lied to her quote unquote daughter her entire life and her finding out, breaking free kind of thing, falling in love, then getting backstabbed because he's a thief and all that stuff. I don't know. It turned out really well.
It did, and I really liked the aspect of like the horse Maximus,
who is my second favorite character in that movie. The horse is awesome.
Understandable. I would say the chameleon is probably my third
Oh, the
favorite.
chameleon's so funny too.
Rapunzel is my second favorite.
So your favorite character is the chameleon?
No, my favorite is Flynn.
Okay.
Rapunzel, and then the chameleon, and then Maximus.
Okay. What made this movie so memorable to you? You said it was almost on your top 10.
It was almost on my top 10 because really the art style and the color scheme of the movie.
I was very... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
They had a lot of very vibrant color schemes in this.
Agreed.
Which contrasted really well with the very dark tones of a child being kidnapped and raised by another woman who constantly lies to her.
Rapunzel, you don't need to go out. Everything you possibly would ever want is here in this room.
Mother Gothel is a complete bitch.
Evil. You talk about you wanting your villains evil, Nate. There you go.
I will also say that this is, like, it's not really, like, this isn't one of the reasons why it's on my list or anything, but it is a great tie-in with Frozen, because they do actually show Flynn and Rapunzel going to Elsa's thing. Like, a lot of Disney movies have a lot of, like, Easter eggs and stuff in it.
Of course.
But these two movies are so close in style and everything that it does feel like this is, like, it very well could be in the same world.
Right.
Like, you have one chick who has hair that heals anything, age even, and another woman who has complete control over ice. So, yeah, I could easily see them being that, and it really made me want to kind of see them meet each other in something.
I was very happy when this world got added to Kingdom Hearts 3, because it was a world that everybody wanted to happen.
Yeah.
And I think they pulled it off very well. Mm-hmm. Because it just fits well with the aesthetic of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, even, like, the bad guys, the Tavern of Criminal Scum, are just a really wholesome bunch when you get down past what society sees them as.
The whole tavern scene reminded me so much of the movie Shrek.
Yeah. It definitely gave off some Shrek vibes.
Right. So yeah. Tarzan. I looked at the wrong one. Tangled is my number 4, and it is a little spoiler here. It is the newest movie on my list.
Okay. I think Encanto is probably the newest movie on my list.
Didn't Encanto come out like 3 years ago?
I don't remember. I think so.
It's very recent. I know that.
Yeah. Yes, 3 years ago. 2021.
So yeah. All right. My number 3 is done. My number 3 was Aladdin. So let's go ahead and just move on to your number 3.
So my number 3 is WALL-E, actually.
The movie WALL-E?
Yes.
I've never seen that movie.
It is...
I know that society's going that direction, though.
I think it'll be worse than that, honestly.
Great.
Yeah, because they at least have the technology to leave Earth after they fucked up Earth.
Hey, Elon Musk is trying.
For himself.
That's true.
And a select few.
You don't think Elon Musk is going to be generous and let us all leave?
Probably not.
No.
Anyway, so WALL-E, I really, like, I don't know why it hit me like it did, but it really was an emotional movie for me. Oh man. So, you said you never seen it?
I've never seen the movie.
Do you at least know what it's about?
Isn't it about America becomes so fat and they fuck up the whole world, and so they just leave and they have all these robots, and then the robot left behind is Wall-E, and Wall-E's trying to like find his place in the world or something like that?
Sort of. Substitute America for the world.
I said the world.
It's not. You said America.
Didn't I say the world?
You said America fucked up the world.
This is America. America fucks up everything.
Yeah. It was the world that fucked up the world on this. You're right on the robot. Like the rest of it, you're pretty much right on. The only difference is that Wall-E is by himself now.
Oh, there's not other robots? I thought there was another robot.
All of the other robots died out. They
That's
ran out
up.
of battery. Yeah,
what a sad movie.
He is the last robot on the world that we see of anyway. We don't see the whole world or anything. We just see him in a city. And his only friend is a cockroach that refuses to die.
That's messed up.
Like, you know how almost all Disney movies have like a animal companion?
Yeah.
The cockroach is his animal companion.
Makes sense.
He even runs it over on accident one time, and he like freaks out thinking he just killed it, and it just pops up like, I'm okay, I'm a cockroach. So yeah, that you're pretty much 100% on. He meets a nether robot that comes from space named Eve. Eve is from the human colonists that are in space, sent there to see if the Earth is legible for life again. Because the robots that were left there, their entire job is to clean up Earth. That's what Wall-E does. He goes around gathering trash, compresses it inside himself because he's a little compression droid, makes little cubes of trash, and piles it up. The thing is, he's not really getting rid of the trash. All he's doing is building cities with cubes of trash. He's playing Minecraft with trash.
That's funny.
So like, while she's scanning it, she's just scanning trash in a dead world, but she does find life. She like, oh, I have life. While she's there, she meets Wall-E. Wall-E's like they have like a romantic kind of thing where trash kid falls in love with future girl and
robot lovers, got it.
Yeah. And he watches a musical every day. He lives in a...
Oh, God.
He lives
Why does he torture himself like that?
Well, he lives in like a old dumpster-looking container and just has spare parts of himself, which, by the way, means that he's been going around scavenging parts from his dead fellows this whole time, so that's even more sad and everything.
So why does this movie resonate so much with you?
I honestly, like, obviously probably the romance aspect of it, and the future, the, like, aspect of hopelessness, having hope within hopelessness. That probably is what rings out to me. But other than that, I don't really know. I do really enjoy the, like, concept of all the robots that they have, and how the humans are just completely fucking useless. While the robots are, like, trying their damnedest to help the humans, even though the humans are like, I'm okay. Like, no, you're not. Stop kidding yourself.
So, obviously, this is kind of a dumb question because there's only like 3 characters. But who's your favorite character, Nate?
So there's actually a few characters, more than just 3. You have Eve, you have Wall-E, you have the cockroach, you have the captain of the human ship, who he like realizes, like Eve gives him the plant life, showing that Earth is now capable of sustaining life. And so he's like, oh, holy shit, this has never happened. I have to, like, follow procedure. And then he, like, tries to follow procedure, but then realizes that there's a reason why humans have become like this, because one of the robots has actively done their best to make humans useless so that they have to rely on him.
So who's your favorite character, Nate?
I'm going to probably say Wall-E.
Yeah. You gave all this explanation for the obvious answer, Nate.
Because you haven't fucking seen the movie, so I have to give you some explanation on being more than just 3 characters. There are more than just 3 characters.
There's 2. There's Wall-E and the robot.
Another thing that I like about this is that until they get to like the humans and whatnot, and even the humans, there's not a lot of dialogue at all in this movie. There is Wally, who can only say Wally. That's
Wally.
it. Yeah. And then Eve, who can say more than like Eve. She says full sentences, but it's very robotic and very straight to the point. So it's not a lot of words. It's the least amount of words to get the point across. And that's pretty much it. Like, then you get to the humans, and the humans are just
douchebags,
useless. I will say, like, it does have a very quick romance moment between these two humans that meet for like a moment. They look up from their computers, look at each other, and they're like, "Oh, dang, you're kind of cute." And then now they're, I guess, together. They're like bonded or something.
Makes sense.
Because they like look at this one moment where all these babies are about to die from all of the other fat people getting ready to crush them and machinery about to crush them. Those two people just look at each other and instantly know what they got to do, and they like save the kids together without saying a single fucking word. So that's weird.
So badass.
But, yeah, it was it's just an emotional movie. It doesn't have a lot of words, and I think that's one of the reasons why the emotion is so heavy in it, because you have to kind of enforce your own kind of ideas into it.
It's sounding a lot like the movie 9. Do you ever see that?
Yes, the what is it? Like a sack person.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie is like
thing.
Very Tim Burton, because Tim Burton made it.
Yeah,
It's giving me those vibes.
It is like a very dystopian world setting like that. Yes, I do agree with that. But
all right.
Also, I think 9 was a little bit more
dark.
Of a horror. Yeah, like a little darker.
Made you feel really bad about your life, though, because it was humans destroyed the world again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of the course now. You can't make me feel any worse on that aspect. So yeah.
So what number was that?
Number 3.
Number 3
for me.
All right. My number 2 is a movie I can basically quote the entire movie to.
Okay.
The entire fucking movie. Came out in the year 2000, which I was shocked that it came out that early. I thought it was later. That is Emperor's New Groove.
Okay. That is not on my list, but I do really like that movie.
That blows me away again that you didn't put that on your list.
Honestly,
every time you say,
hold on,
I didn't put this on my list, I just think, wow, you put Wreck-It Ralph above this.
I have 1 and 2. You should know 1.
I know.
And have a pretty good idea on 2.
I'm drawing a blank on what your number 2 should be.
Okay. Well,
number 1 is easy.
Emperor's New Groove is a great movie.
The Emperor's New Groove is I will say The Emperor's New Groove is the funniest Disney movie.
It is
hands hilarious. Down hilarious.
David Spade just fucking knocked it out of the park as the Emperor.
Every character in this movie is memorable. Every single one. The question of who's your favorite character is gonna be very tough on this movie. Very tough. Every character I love Cusco because of his snappy like remarks, his comments, the way he is, how he learns to be a better person at the end. I love Krunk because he's just the dumbest, funniest, lovable little dumbass you've ever met. He's so funny. Yzma is like the perfect villain because she's just, I want to be the Empress, but she does it and she always fails every time in the funniest way. You even got like side characters like the squirrel or like the people at the diner. Or like everybody's so funny. Or like the old man who gets thrown out of a window and he's just like, it threw off his groove.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is a very challenging. I'm going to say I don't have a favorite.
No,
this one.
You have to give me a favorite.
Well, hold on. I don't have a favorite for this one. I have favorites for certain reasons.
No, you gotta give me a definitive
like
reason.
Cusco, favorite because he's funny. Pacha, favorite because, I mean, he's Pacha. He's like,
Pacha's so funny.
Pacha is the straight-laced guy that's just like, he brings the reason to it. Kronk because he's just, like you said, he's a lovable dumbass. Like, there is.
She's
no
like over there,
flavor
like,
to this.
it's like, Kronk, aren't you forgetting something? And he's like, my spinach puffs. Like, runs off. He's like, no, you're supposed to kill Cusco.
Patrick Warburton just did a phenomenal job on, like, pacing his voice out for Kronk and just making it seem just hilarious.
I gotta give my favorite character, as much as it sucks to say this, because so many of the characters are great, I gotta give it to Kronk. Because I laughed the most when Kronk was on the scene.
Yeah.
Kronk, every time he spoke, was just so funny. To the point where Kronk was so popular, he got his own movie, Kronk's New Groove, which is not that bad of a movie. It's not great. It doesn't have the same appeal that Emperor's New Groove did, but it was still a good movie.
Got his girl.
Yeah? Yeah, and Yzma came back as a cat.
Yeah.
Which, that's so such a fitting end to Yzma, was her getting turned into a little shit cat.
Well, you know what's even, like, why that is even more special, right?
Why is that?
Because Yzma's voiced by Eartha Kitt, who played Catwoman in the original Batman movie.
Oh.
Batman show.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so Yzma becoming a cat is Eartha Kitt returning to be a cat.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but I love this movie. Like I said, this is probably the most quotable Disney movie I've ever seen.
I guess I'll go with Pacha. Because he's the down-to-earth family man that just wants to be a good friend.
I love that scene where he's like, if you come right over here, on the side of these hills, you'll be here. The sun will make the hills sing. He's like, oh, great. That sounds perfect. Slams his Zootopia thing and just destroying it. And he's just like, ha, boom, baby.
Yeah, David Spade does an amazing narcissist.
You want to know my favorite David Spade movie? I know this is off topic, but it's not Emperor's New Groove, even though that is tied almost with number one. Have you ever seen that show, the movie Dickie Roberts? Where David Spade plays Dickie Roberts, a child star who never grew up?
Yeah.
That is, you want peak hilarity of David Spade. I love that movie.
That's Nuck and Futz.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, that is my number two. Emperor's New Groove is so funny. Oh, did you say you say Pacha? Pacha's your favorite.
Yeah, Pacha's my favorite.
Here's my question before we move on. What's your favorite scene in the movie? Because there's so many iconic scenes.
Let's see here. There is I think my favorite scene is the scene where, because I really like fourth wall breaking, whenever Cusco stops the movie.
Yes.
And talks to you. Like, hey,
not this guy, this guy.
Look,
not this winner, loser.
I know things are looking pretty bad right now.
For the main character, who's me.
Yeah, so I'd say that's probably my favorite scene just because I love fourth wall breaks.
You know what? I'm changing my favorite character to Cusco, man. He's just such a little shit in the beginning. He's so
he does
funny.
Make it. And he gets his own series even.
Yeah. I love Kronk, but man, Cusco is such a little shit in the beginning, and he's so funny.
He does have the most character growth.
Oh, 100%.
Obviously.
I would say my favorite scene... Oh, man, you made a great fucking point with that fourth wall breaking one. That's really funny. But I gotta say, I really like the scene in the restaurant with Kronk, and Yzma's like, what are you doing back there? We're looking for Cusco. He's like, well... I got orders now, so...
Oh, yeah, he, instantly knows all of the orders.
And she's like, whatever, can you at least make me lunch?
Yeah.
And the scene where where Cusco and Yzma are having the menus, and they keep going up and down, up and down. I think the whole scene is so funny. So, yeah, that's my number two. Did you say your number two yet?
No.
All right, what's your number two?
My number two is a Goofy movie.
Oh, wow! Never would have expected that.
Yeah, a tale between father and son bonding over a travel that the son
I
doesn't
get
really
it.
want to go
Now
to,
that I'm
but
thinking about it, it makes sense. I kind of forgot that movie existed. Not gonna lie.
plus Goofy is my favorite Disney character of all time.
Really?
Yes, Goofy
Wow.
is my all-time favorite Disney character.
Goofy. Yup.
I love the old Goofy shorts that he used to do, that were like how-to for dumbasses.
Yeah. So what made the Goofy movie so memorable to you?
The emotion, really. Like,
Shut up, Dad. I don't want to go on a stupid trip. Oh, come on, son. We're going to have such a good time.
it is such a great bonding movie of a father and son.
Now, I always get the
Especially-
two mixed up. Is which one? The Goofy movie is the fishing trip, right?
Yes, they
Okay.
first set out to go fishing, and then Goofy decides, hey, this isn't really what my son wants to do. I'm taking him to the concert that he wants to be a part of.
Now, I think, for me, memory-wise, I think the Extremely Goofy movie is the one I like better.
I would say that an extremely Goofy movie is very close.
Isn't that
but
the
it
one where he
doesn't-
goes to college and they do
Yes.
the X Games and all that? Yeah, that I like that one better.
It is better in the form of, like, I guess a movie aspect. Like the plot line is a bit more easier to follow, but it never quite hits the emotional aspect of a Goofy movie.
So, who is your favorite character in a Goofy movie? Is it Goofy?
Yeah, Goofy.
Yeah, I figured. What
Like,
about
Max is very close. It's kind of almost like a Goku and Gohan situation with Max and Goofy.
until they fucked it up?
Yeah. But the difference being that Goofy would have absolutely no problem with his son taking over for him. He'd be like, I'm so honored. Like, fucking Goofy is an amazing dad.
So, what is your favorite scene in that movie?
The scene where they are in the car and the Bigfoot guy or the Sasquatch, whatever he is rampaging them, and so Goofy tries to heat up a can with the car lighter. That cracks me up.
I don't even remember that scene. It's been a long time. I've seen the Extremely Goofy movie a whole bunch of times. I've only seen the original Goofy movie like twice.
Yeah. I will say that one of the things that definitely puts an Extremely Goofy movie down for me
Pete.
is the fact that they wrote out Roxanne.
They wrote out Roxanne? What do you mean? Oh, okay, never mind. They took her out of the movie. I got you. I see what you mean.
Yeah. She just is completely gone. They don't even be like, man, it sucks that you guys broke up. Nothing like that. It's just she's not there, which I get.
They needed a new movie.
Junior high and high school moments or loves never, or not never, but most likely don't last. But at least give the characters something, like a mention.
Nah, you don't deserve it.
I will say that I am one of the things that I do love about an Extremely Goofy movie is that both PJ and Goofy find love interests.
Yeah.
Which Goofy, not too surprised. The Goofy show, even he had a teacher that was really after
Goof
him.
Troop.
Yeah. But PJ, I was really happy that he finally gained a love interest.
Got Pete, though. Don't forget about good old Pete.
Yeah, Pete. Yep. I always wondered what happened to Peg from Goof Troop.
Is that his mom?
Yeah, Peg is Pete's wife in Goof Troop, and then Pistol is his daughter. But in a Goofy movie and an Extremely Goofy movie, neither one of them are present. So it kind of makes me think that she left him and took the daughter.
So you know how I told you about that video that I made about Kingdom Hearts TV shows I wish would, or thing? So we're going to TV shows. I made an argument for Goof Troop. And my argument was I would love to see Sora and Pete. So Pete gets sucked into wherever the portal that sends him there. And it shows Pete going back in time to see him as a father and being a good father to his son and all that. And maybe it was hoping it would change Pete's ways from not being so evil in the video games.
Yeah.
I just thought that'd be kind of cool. Sort of be like, oh man, Pete, what happened, dude?
I could kind of see that.
It was a very, very light argument, but it was just something that I thought would be fun.
Pete, for me, is like, he is the antithesis to Goofy being, like, Goofy is the understanding dad that just wants the best for his son, who loves his son, and just all around wants to be there for him. Whereas Pete's the kind of dad that's like, he loves his son, but he really can't wait for his son to get out on his own so he can be on his own again.
Also made an argument for Goofy in that same video, talking about how so if you don't remember, in the original game, Goofy is a knight of King Mickey. And my argument was that he would get sent there like, oh man, I gotta go back to my hometown where my kid is. And then his kid would not know that his dad is actually like this knight of the kingdom, and he gets to see his dad for the hero he actually is, type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, I thought it'd be cool.
Yeah. That might be, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good pick. An interesting pick. I should have known it was coming. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, it's been my number 2 ever since I watched the movie, honestly.
I wonder what your number 1 is, Nate. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's such a shocker.
All right, so moving on to my number 1. You know me. You should know what it is, right? You have an idea of what my number 1 is?
Your number 1 movie.
Number 1 Disney animated movie.
No clue.
You really don't know?
Well, I honestly thought Lilo and Stitch would be it, but you already placed it, so no.
No. My number 1 came out, and I'll give you the year, see if you can guess it. 1973.
Oh, fuck it. Okay, yeah. Is that Robin Hood?
It's Robin Hood!
Yeah,
Hell, of course it is!
Yeah.
Robin Hood is the greatest fucking movie, dude.
So, in my head, I always placed, for your favorites, like, it would be Lilo and Stitch, Emperor's New Groove, and then Robin Hood. And then you said
wrong order.
The other 2 already, and mentally I've already knocked off Robin Hood, thinking you've already said it.
Lilo and Stitch was 7, dude.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I honestly thought Lilo and Stitch would be your number 1 because you love that.
I love the animated show more than anything, though.
Okay.
But no, Robin Hood is my number 1 because it has to do with archery, which is one of the greatest like weapons of all time. I always love that. Has the perfect story of Arthur in like the story of like Robin Hood, not Arthur in England. The story of Robin Hood.
Like,
I got my folklores mixed up. My bad. The story of Robin Hood, which I love. I love the story of Robin Hood. Plus you made him a fox, which I like foxes a lot. Mm-hmm. You got, I don't know. It's just like as a kid, this is probably the one I watched the most as a kid. Was this movie, and I loved the fact that they took a twist of a dark version of Robin Hood and made it into a lighthearted animated kids movie.
It really sucked that once again they made wolves bad.
What? Who? Oh man, who's the bad guy here? King John's a lion, dude. I don't know who you're talking about.
Sheriff of Nottingham is a wolf.
The big fat wolf too.
And
who's over here like, I just want your money. I gotta steal your money from your from your cast. He literally was like smacking his foot in the cast, like, give me that gold coin.
Canonically, it would be a fox that does that shit. Like, ooh, I'm trickster. I'm a greedy guy. Like, come on.
Nah.
Whatever.
Robin Hood is the fox, buddy, with Maid Marian, who's also a fox.
Yeah.
Come on, man. One of the best love stories in Disney. This movie has everything for it, dude.
Okay, love story.
Better than your fucking love story coming up in number 1.
I mean, probably, yeah. Honestly,
I have things to say about your number 1.
I know, and I hate that you.
We'll get there. So, what about Robin Hood? Since it's not even on your list, not even on your radar, do you like this movie? Do you like this movie?
Yeah.
What about this movie do you personally like?
Well, I love Robin Hood as a story, so the fact that it's a animated Disney movie was great. Robin Hood himself was a great character that they did. I love how they portrayed King John. He was the lion of pride, always sucking his thumb and calling for his mommy was hilarious.
What about Hiss?
Hiss was okay. Like, one of the things I didn't like about it was, like, Hiss just didn't feel like he belonged.
Oh, what? He's the like the little like sly douchebaggy like little weasel of a henchman to King John. Like, oh, I'll just do anything I can to get on his good side.
Also, he felt more like a Jungle Book character.
I mean, yeah, it's because he's a snake and there's a Jungle Book snake in that. As well, the hypnosis eyes and all.
It's the exact same character.
I know it is.
And I'm like, okay, that feels like a weird.
What came first? When did Jungle Book came out?
I don't know. Here, I'll check. Go ahead. What would you say like led you to this?
I don't know, man. I think as a kid, I just loved the aesthetic of the whole place. Like, I love the knights. I love the rhinoceros, like how they're like guards and stuff. I don't know. A lot of it's the aesthetic of the movie. I love the setting. I love the look of everybody. I love the characters and how they interact. It's got the perfect blend of like, look how badass Robin Hood is, mixed with like, look how funny King John is, and you got what I just drew a blank on the dude, Little John. Great character, such a fun character. I don't know, man. It's just everything was great.
So Jungle Book came out first.
Ah, damn.
1967 to Robin Hood's 1973.
Ah, that's okay. I think this movie is what got me to love archery so much. Like, anytime I play like a video game of anything, I always try to pick of like either two classes, a guy with a giant axe or an archer. Those are my two favorite classes in any video games.
I will say, like, a character that I always thought was underappreciated was the Rooster.
Agreed. The narrator.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that movie's so good. It has one of the best soundtracks too. Like, he's
probably the like character that made me like really like bards.
Yeah, I could see that. Stuff. Who is your favorite character in this movie, Nate?
Robin Hood.
Yeah,
without question. But I would say like the little rabbit kid that looked up to Robin Hood is my second favorite character.
Oh yeah, when you give him the hat.
Because when I was a kid, I was like, it should have been me.
I mean, Robin Hood is the easy answer.
Yeah,
he really is. But if I'm gonna pick someone that's not Robin Hood,
the narrator.
Their narrator's really good. I like that character a lot.
I like the voice. I like the look. I like the style. Nothing about it. I was like, okay. And then the fact, like, they kept all of the animals at least like somewhat size appropriate. Like, rabbits were smaller than everything. He was not. He was a rooster as big as the fucking fox or bear, even. Like,
that's true.
No fucking reason. I don't understand. But he was also just the king. Like, he was just so cool.
So if I had to pick one that's not Robin Hood, I'm picking Lil Jon. Lil Jon was a great character.
Yeah. And
I would say my favorite scene in the entire movie, the one that's the most memorable to me, and the one I always go to in my head when I think of this movie, is the archery contest when he dresses up as a stork.
Okay,
I love the whole like, oh, look at this old stork, and he ain't gonna be able to do anything, and then the guy he's going against gets the bullseye, and he just turns around and bullseye splits the arrow. As a kid, I was like, that's probably the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about all of the Robin Hood like iterations and whatnot is his disguise. Everything.
It's always so funny.
He disguises himself as kind of a really humble-looking creature, but then he's like, but I'm actually a complete badass.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's my number one. That's my favorite Disney movie, animated Disney movie. Let's move on to your number one, Nate.
All right, So my number one.
Hold on, everybody, buckle down. This is gonna be a complete shocker to me.
Bolt.
No, it's not. You fucking liar.
No, Beauty and the Beast.
What?
Yes, I know, it's so weird. And yes, I know what you're going to fucking say about it.
What am I gonna say, Nate? What am I gonna say?
I don't even want the words coming out of my mouth.
I love that you love a movie about Stockholm Syndrome, Nate.
It's not about that.
It's 100% about that. Fall in love with your capture. That makes sense.
First off, that's over a certain amount of time, and that's if your capture has, like, actively tortured you, and then made
the
it
only
to where
way you can leave. I'll free your father if you stay with me.
Yes, because her father literally trespassed onto his kingdom.
Oh, that means you got complete, total reason to kidnap him.
I mean, royalty back in those days had less reason, honestly.
You will love me or your father dies.
Never said that.
That's hinted at.
Nope, never said that. Matter of fact, he's not the one who told her a curse. He never once told her the curse and was like, look, if you don't love me, I'm going to be stuck this way.
Put in the comments if you think this is about Stockholm Syndrome or not.
And probably you're going to get a lot of comments, if we do get a lot of comments, that will probably say, oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
But it's
not. It is.
It's not. Anyway.
So why do you like this movie so much? I'm going to say right now, this is one of my least favorite Disney movies.
Because this is the first movie that I remember. It may not be the first movie that I actually saw, but it's the first movie that predominantly remembering of never judge a book by its cover kind of thing.
Unless you want to kidnap him.
No. Because the whole lesson of the entire movie is to not judge a book by its cover.
Is it though? Because at the end they get the prince and everything will turn out great. And blah.
No, okay. So that's actually one of the things, like, I wasn't going to say anything unless you brought it up. But someone a while back went through the movie and like did scene by scene, like frame by frame. And they took a frame of what Belle looks like the moment she sees the prince. And it is pure sad. Like,
yeah, because she wants bestiality instead and wants to fall in love with her monster.
Yeah, so it's not like, I'm so happy I got a hot human prince. It's, give me back my beast furry guy.
Huh. It's almost like this movie is accepting Stockholm Syndrome and bestiality all in the same movie. Isn't that weird, Nate?
I mean, we could talk about this movie being my number one, or you can just keep insulting it over and over again, the same way you always have. It's one of the reasons why I didn't even want to put it on here.
Go ahead and talk about why you like this atrocious movie so much, Nate.
Yeah, the movie is about not judging books by its cover. Every single conflict in this movie is judging a book by its cover.
I don't know. I think my favorite character in this movie is Gaston, Nate.
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Just kidding.
Considering all of your other favorites have mostly been villains. And Gaston is Gaston.
No one treats Lee like Gaston. No one is like Gaston.
The peak of male toxicity.
No one can have muscles just like Gaston. So,
the beginning of the movie, the prince becoming the beast, is because he judged a book by its cover. The solution, or the issue with everything since, is everybody judging the beast by his cover. To the point where he himself is basically a feral child at this point. All of his only friends and cohorts are the animate objects that used to be his servants of the castle, which, by the way, such a dick move by the witch. Like,
makes sense. Deserves it.
Cursing the prince for being a dick. Okay. Don't like it, but understandable a little. Cursing everybody in the castle.
No. Your servants are part of you, man.
That's fucked.
Don't surround yourself by such a douchebag prince then.
Judging, even Belle's not safe or not free of like judging a book by cover. She judges the village people because they don't read. They find happiness in the simple things in life. And she's like, oh, these guys are not educated.
Nate, you are solidifying why everybody in this movie is so shitty.
Yes, I am. Because you don't judge a book by its cover, Raceland.
Yeah, man, if only this movie was better.
It is better because it shows how fallible everybody is. There is no hero. There is a clear villain.
The hero is Gaston, trying to rid the world of bestiality.
That's not what he's trying to rid the world of, and you know it. Anyway.
Tried to make the woman see her the light and not go for beasts.
So yeah, that's my number one.
Oh, Nate, come on.
I like it because Belle's my favorite princess. She's the bookworm of the princesses. Beast is a cool character.
What's your favorite scene in the whole movie, Nate?
My favorite scene in the whole movie is... I'm going to go with the... every time I keep thinking of another scene pops in my head, and I'm like, that's not my favorite, but it keeps popping in my head.
What is it?
The scene where the dresser straight up murders a man by jumping and crushing his skull through the floorboards.
Jesus!
Yeah, I'm like, that's not my favorite. That is probably
the one you mentioned first, Nate, so go with your gut.
That is the most fucked scene in the movie.
Isn't there a scene where Beast is like, they're having like a snowball fight and shit, and they're falling in love and all that stuff? Isn't that? I figured that would be your favorite scene.
I mean, that is a touching scene. I'd say my favorite scene is the scene where Beast gives Belle the library. Like, he's like, here, read. You can read. Stuff like that.
Nate, let's be honest. Is this reason this is your number one is because you have a fantasy about Belle because she's a librarian and you're like your perfect dream girl?
No, because then Extremely Goofy movie would be up there because Goofy literally falls in love with a red-headed librarian.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I give you shit, but...
Who wears glasses and... like knows how to pull one out of their shell. Like, come on.
Who is your favorite character in this movie?
I'm going to go with
Gaston.
No. I'm going to go with
Gaston's little like servant guy.
LeFou?
LeFou, yeah.
No. I'm going to go with Chip because
who the hell
he
is
is very
Chip?
Chip is the little teacup with the chip on the rim. Right. He is the most optimistic and the one who believes that everything's going to work out no matter what.
Okay.
Even when things look the bleakest, Chip's like, don't worry, mama. Everything's going to be okay. Like, he actively tries to keep everybody's spirits up, even when everyone else is like, we're fucked.
Yeah, makes sense. I know I give you shit about your favorite movie, even though it's quite deserved, but it's okay. Everybody's entitled to like what they like.
I like your little caveats at that.
Oh, what? No. I was telling you that I'm glad that you.
It was almost a very touching, like, moment. And they're like, oh, shit, I have very reasonable reason why I should. Fuck that shit.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to our extra long podcast because we should have definitely not picked 10, but we did.
Should have stuck with 5.
I fucking fought for it, but you were like, no, 10 is fine. We'll have lots of crossovers.
You sent me a message asking, hey, should we do 5?
Listeners,
like, nah, we should be fine.
Listeners, keep in mind, this is all Nate's fault, okay? I fought for you guys.
You fought for you guys. Literally sent one message and then accepted. And plus, we both thought they were going to have a lot more crossovers.
Well, pick better movies, man.
Oh my gosh, sometimes I want to strangle you. So yeah, that's it.
If you guys comment below what your favorite Disney animated movie is, because it is interesting to see other people's opinions. Obviously, look at Nate's favorite movie. So yeah, thanks for listening. All right, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.